in most kitchens, chilies add to the heat. But in Goan kitchens, chili did not add only the heat, but they became a habit, they became a balancing act, and they became a lot of flavor.
Tradition.
Tradition. Okay. So I am with the lady, and we are back at Tete with audit.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, of course, now when you mention tradition, let me start from that. That how did chilies became a tradition in Goan kitchens?
Uh, you see, when the Portuguese came in, so everyone attributed, and I'm using a very strong word, and I get a lot of flack for that. Every one attributed that it was the Portuguese who brought in the
Brought the chilies.
pimento,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then through grafting, that was from South
Hmm.
America, and that then through grafting, we got the different chilies which were grown in different areas.
Right.
Like today, if you see the Kola chili in Goa is grown in the Cancun area,
Hmm.
the Harmal, which is grown in
Different
the
regions and different
Perne
chilies.
region, and basically both of them have GI
GI
tags.
tags, yeah.
We also have the Aldona chimisang. Unfortunately, it's not being cultivated much today,
Mm-hmm.
but it was always a very, very must do tradition, I would say, in Catholic homes. Then you used to have the Butao chilies, which used to grow in specific areas of Moira, Aldona,
Okay.
etc.
Okay.
So each community would utilize, maybe because of the distance also, that
Hmm.
could happen. Maybe because of the distance, if people didn't travel unless it was for a Mapsa market and people would come, or another market in a different area, people would use a specific chili for that community.
Community.
Like you
Okay.
would not think about the Catholic homes using a Harmal or a Cancun chili. That was unique for those areas which were
Okay.
there. So these areas which were there, and since Aldona and Moira were in the areas where the Portuguese had settled down, which
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Bades, Tiswadi, etc., it became more of a traditional input to put it into their food.
Food. Okay.
And also the question of the Muslim community. A lot of people don't talk about them. They too used to use a mix of these two chilies in their
Okay.
food
Okay.
and grind it because they used to have prepared
Hmm.
masalas.
Sure.
So it's to grind this powder and keep it. So traditionally, yes, but I'm taking you one step further.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, that's where my doubts are coming in. We used to have a tradition, not a tradition, more in terms of keeping away the evil eye.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chilies
So
are used
which again
for
it's
that
throughout
as well.
India where they
Throughout
use the
India.
green
Correct.
chilies. They use the green chilies.
We use red ones as
Oh,
well.
you use red ones. All right, in
Burn them.
Goa, yes, to burn
Burn
them and
them.
take away
Yeah, yeah.
all the
Burn
evil
them.
nazar
Yes.
and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Burn them.
Now, the Catholics also, you would think it's a totally Hindu way of doing it because
Yeah.
it's done all throughout India.
Yeah.
And there is a little folklore also attached to it. Just
Mm-hmm.
remind me to tell you
Sure.
about it. The Catholics also would do exactly what you say, take the dried chilies, but they would not do a mantra. They would say the I believe.
Ah, okay.
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 Sometimes also to add to the chili would be some salt because salt also
Absorb negativity.
absorbs a
Yeah,
lot of
that's yeah,
negativity.
yeah, yeah.
You would not find them, the Catholics, putting the chili and
And
limbo outside their houses,
yeah,
which again you might find in majority of the
yeah,
places,
yeah,
in the under the cars, under the thing
yeah.
to
They do it.
for the
Yeah, even
evil.
trucks will have it
Yes, all around.
all around.
And
Yeah.
again, coming to that, I wonder because the folklore says that 7 green chilies and 1 lime were always pierced through to
Yes.
keep away a Lakshmi who would visit the houses and bring a lot of negativity into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And since she liked sour and spicy things, they used to put it outside folklore, put
Okay.
it outside
Yeah.
the door so she would feed her and then just move out of it. Others tell me what reasoning is there for those chilies and lime to be put
Lime to be
there.
put. Yeah.
So somehow or the other that folklore comes in, and
Comes in.
I have no idea. I tried researching. I have no idea when this thing started, if you're talking
Yeah.
about in the Indian thing about this
Right.
folklore.
About.
Everywhere they say that from Americas, the Christopher Columbus brought it to the Iberian Plateau, which is
Okay.
Portugal and Spain.
Hmm.
Now, one must also remember that Portugal and Spain, and this was 1492. One must also remember that Portugal and Spain was occupied during that period by the Moors, the Arabs.
Right.
Now, could the probability, I'm using a strong word because these debates I always have with people,
Yeah. Yeah.
could the probability of the chili coming in before 1510 happen? Because we are talking about a Bhutjalokia chili, which was origin was in India,
India.
in the
Correct.
northeast.
Yeah.
It grew in India, so the probability of the chili being there
Was there.
was there, and also the birds
Yeah.
used to take the seeds and scatter it all
Scatter.
around the
Yeah.
place. So while I buy the grafting part of it, and they were really good, the
Yeah.
Portuguese were really good at grafting, and yes, some of the chilies, like some of the mangoes, could have been brought by them and
Yeah.
grafted.
Grafted. Yeah.
But there are a few little gray
But we
areas.
might also had on our own.
We,
And also it could be because of the distance that we never could come to know that this thing is already growing, because up northeast commuting might be a issue at that time. It wasn't very easy, so even if bhujalokia existed, we might have come to know of its existence at a later
See,
stage.
there's
And
another thing also which we have not taken into account is trade never only happened by sea.
yeah,
There was the Silk Road
silk
coming
road,
in
yeah,
through from those
yeah, those,
provinces.
yes,
That, like I said, questions, probabilities.
probabilities,
I can't say that this is absolutely right.
yeah.
But then, did it go from us, and how many centuries back did these seven chilies and lime come into it? When did that story or the folklore of a
Evil
Lakshmi,
eye
yes,
and
a
all this
Lakshmi
happening.
come through? There are a lot of unanswered questions. So,
But when we talk about now chilies in the flavor profiles, and like you just mentioned that each community, or rather a specific smaller region, were growing their own chilies. Now, so if a permanent chili different from the Cancun chili,
very much
it is
in terms
different.
of the spice factor, in terms of the color it imparted to the dishes, in terms of the shape and size of it.
Hmm.
I would say that is the wizardry of the grafting processes of the Portuguese.
Wow.
Because they not only did that, they did it for mangoes, not
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
chilies.
Yeah.
They were able to have a unique characterization. Now, while we spoke also about the Aldona and the Butão chilies,
Yeah.
button
Yeah.
chilies,
Yes.
there is also one which we used to call the Shepriachi Misang,
Mm-hmm.
because it was shaped like a tail. Shepria means tail.
Tail. Okay.
Shepriachi Misang, which our grandmothers used to put, because Kashmiri chilies only came into Goa the moment after 1961, when the gates were open and it was flooded into the thing.
Right.
Where did Kashmiri chilies ever in the past go into our food preparations?
Hmm.
So while the Hindu community still remain very steadfast in using those chilies,
Yeah.
we in the Catholic community have a lot of work to do if we have to preserve that heritage.
Oh, that's interesting to know. But do you think that this flavor profiling of chilies and different chilies, and I'm sure that if region wise, then gravies would taste different because of chilies
Yes,
going
that's why we
differently,
cannot standardize
standardize anything. So,
the
like,
preparations. It
yeah,
depends from taluka to taluka. It depends. Again, who can say that I've used two chilies here and three chilies here or four chilies here? That time there
hmm,
were no
no
measurements.
measurements, yeah,
It was just a question of take the chilies and grind it, because it was tradition, habit that the dishes flowed in from memory.
right.
So there is no, now today from the recipe books we will write two chilies, etc., three chilies. Never
But
did
then
they
also,
exist.
I'm sure the taste will differ, because if one chili is so different from the other, and the
It
heat
does.
level is different, and
Color
the
also
flavor color
differs.
is different, so
Color
so there is no
differs.
standardization to the dish also, and it will still.
I know a lot of chefs would get very irritated when we say there's no standardization, but using that word, I would turn around and say it is a heritage.
Right. Right.
It's a legacy. It's not, it happened once to me, and I'll be honest with you regarding our coconut.
Hmm.
And if you notice that in Goa, we use the coconut in different
Different
textures,
ways, yeah.
the suke, which is coarse, the milk, etc. And when I'd gone to do a program in Delhi, and
Hmm.
I'd carried my chilies with me. That was a must. But I was not able to tell that khansab or that guy in the kitchen in terms of our texture of our gravy.
Right.
And he did it exactly like you do it in north.
Yeah.
Everything is fine,
Fine and
absolute.
fine grounded. Yeah.
And then I looked at the dish and I said, "Oh my God, no amount of chilies are going to sort out
Sort.
what
Yeah.
I want to
Because
do
I think it's a
finally."
very different way of using chilies, and
It's
I feel that also it becomes a part of your culture, like every household. Because I feel like we know that in our Indian overall community wise, there are certain communities who eat spicy food, and Goa is one of them. Who's
But
maybe
again,
used to the
Goa
spice.
has one thing which a lot of other cuisines in India doesn't have. It balances its flavors.
Yeah,
So you'll have something which is tangy, sour,
it has a
sweet,
full flavor profile.
salted.
Yeah,
It doesn't hit you like a
yeah,
maybe a chettinad dish or
yeah.
something like that. When it just
Only
you'll or an Andhra dish and
yeah,
you're just crying tears,
yeah,
etc.
yeah,
These chilies sort of uplift the dish.
yeah.
And in terms of, when you see a Catholic fish curry, you see it a deep orange color.
Orange color. Yeah.
When you see a Hindu human, which is also a fish curry, it's a greenish brown color.
Hmm.
So there's another thing also which the Portuguese used to do in the past is they used to give, depending on the topography. Now, something I'm staying in this area,
Yeah.
I would be given a little tree for growing in my backyard, and from there I would get chilies, which are the Gaunti chilies.
Wow.
So there would be red and what you say, green.
Green
I
chili.
would just pick it up depending on what I wanted to use and use it.
Yeah.
And then another thing which has slowly, you will not find it today except maybe in the regions which are very hilly and far away from urbanization, were the piri piri chilies.
Okay.
Now, piri piri chilies were spicy bird eye chilies,
Yeah.
and not only were they red in color, which the Hindus used to call tarboti chilies, there were also white chilies, very rare, but they used to be used to make a very spicy chutney.
Wow.
Hindu homes. See, all those things unfortunately are slowly losing its sheen,
Yeah.
its whatever credit was.
Actually, I just wanted to kind of ask you that you have seen this transition. Now, the way chilies were used earlier to versus now the way kitchens are using it. What difference do you really see? I mean,
I see there is no dumb. I'm sorry. There is no dumb when it comes to a dish. It is, I can sort of envision the flavor
yeah.
by knowing that the chefs have. I don't find that so much in Hindu food. Huh? They're a
Hmm.
little bit particular about the chilies they put in. When we're talking about maybe the sot patel or the vindalho, or we're talking about any of the chilies which are used in thing, it's usually the Kashmiri chilies
Yeah.
because, like I said, those other two
So,
chilies
I
are.
mean, have they moved to the packet, using the packet chilies
I
and,
guess so, or ready
using
made.
the
I guess so,
ready-made ones
and that
and,
again is a
you
big
know,
mistake which our grandmother
degi
said.
mirch and
Yeah,
Kashmiri red chili and all
because
of that.
in
So,
that packet there will be a mixture of chilies which
mixture
are
of chilies,
ground to
yeah.
go into that red chili powder.
Yeah.
It's not that specific chili flavor which was originally, times change,
Times change.
packets come into the
So
picture.
times change. Do let me know what chilies you're using at your home, and we'll be back with another spice and another spicy story. So till then, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you.